defined by Merriam-Webster Dictionary, being important is deserving or requiring attention. Important people include such people as Martin Luther King Jr., Abraham Lincoln, Barack Obama, and Susan B. Anthony. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, born Elizabeth Cady, was a very important woman in U.S. history because of her early life, her role in women's rights, and the things she will be remembered for. Cady was born on November 12, 1815 in Johnstown, New York, being the 8th of 11 children. Cady and her 3 younger siblings were taken care of by Tebet, one of their parents' slaves. She studied at Johnstown Academy, where she studied such things as Greek, Latin, math, and science. Cady and Henry Brewster Stanton were married in 1840. When married, Cady asked that the, quote, promise to obey be removed from the vows. Back then, the wife was supposed to obey the husband, and Elizabeth decided that that was unnecessary. The couple ended up having 5 boys and 2 girls, so 7 children altogether. Another important woman in women's rights was Lucretia Mott, who would turn out to be Cady's closest friend. Cady and Mott met at the World Anti-Slavery Convention. This convention was held on a 2-day period of July 19th and July 20th of 1848, where over 300 people attended. At this convention, the Declaration of Sentiments was presented, which would turn out to be the most important document in the women's rights movement. Cady was a part of the National Women's Suffrage Association, or the NWSA, which was founded by Cady and Susan B. Anthony. The NWSA would oppose the 15th Amendment, which gave everyone the right to vote except women, which is the reason that the NWSA refused to, or opposed it. Cady wrote numerous things throughout her life, including The History of Women's Suffrage, The Solitude of Self, The Women's Bible, and 80 Years or More. Cady died of heart failure on October 26 of 1902 in her home in New York City, New York. She was commemorated with Susan B. Anthony and Mott at the U.S. Capitol for being such a strong role model in women's rights. However, she died before she got to see what she had worked so hard for, which was the right for women to vote.
Excuse me, Elizabeth Keon Murphy and Ebony Ross.
Elizabeth Cady Stanton was born on November 12th of 1815 in Johnstown, New York. She was a major part in the women's rights movement, participating in the Seneca Falls Convention and the NWSA. She died on October 26, 1902 in New York City, New York. She was remembered by her writings, her children, and her grandchildren. All in all, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, born Elizabeth Cady, was a very important role model in U.S. history because of her early life, her role in women's rights, and the things she will be remembered for. Right here is a picture of Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and then over here, sitting down, is Elizabeth Cady, and standing up beside her is Susan B. Anthony.